Hey, how you doing? My name is JB, and this is Movie Talk JB. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite films, Apocalypse Now Redux. And this is not a film review, so for those who have not seen the film, I would advise you to go see the film first and then come back here to get my perspective of this film. Well, anyway, what I wanted to do is I wanted to break down the symbolic meaning of the Nun River and other symbols related to that symbol. And first, I want to start out with the Nun River. And as you know, that Captain Willard is ordered to go up the Nun River to find Kurtz, who is on this remote island in Cambodia, where he has established himself among the people there as a god. Willard is supposed to go up this river to find Kurtz and to kill Kurtz, but along the way he's going to make some stops and try to find out some things before he actually infiltrates Kurtz's compound. Well, the deeper that Willard goes up the Nun River, the more he disconnects himself from reality and his humanity, and the more that he connects with Kurtz. So going up this Nun River actually enables him to connect with Kurtz, because you notice at the very beginning of this Nun River is basically the starting point. This is where uh, Willard received his command. This is his connection with God. But as he goes deeper down this river, he begins to disconnect himself from God and to get closer to Kurtz, which represents the opposite of God. He represents the animal nature that we all have and that we're all born with as babies. The nature of subjectivity, of being wrapped up in our own desires and disconnected from other people and how our desires affect other people. And the remote jungle where will it find Kurtz is also a metaphor. It is basically a giant metaphor. This is Kurtz. That uh, uh, jungle is not where Kurtz is. That jungle represents Kurtz. He's very primitive. He's very savage. This is the lowest level of human nature. And this is where will it find Kurtz. And the only way that Willard can reconnect with his God and with his humanity is to kill Kurtz. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason being is that in the very beginning of the film, the start of the film starts off with Willard in a room in Saigon. And this room is like a purgatory, you know. It's like a purgatory. It's like a place where he's kind of where he's in limbo, because he is disconnected from uh, humanity, because he said that he got a divorce with his wife when she represents and civilization represents his humanity, and at the same time he doesn't have a mission. And that's where he wants to go back, but he doesn't have a mission right now. So basically he is detached from God, and he is detached from the war, which represents hell. But he's not in hell yet. He's in the valley of decision. This is this room. And this valley of decision leads him to the general at Nha Trang Airfield, who tells him about Kurtz and who basically gives him the order to go up the river to assassinate Kurtz. Now, Kurtz represents the opposite side of God. He represents this animal nature. Willard is an assassin. So Willard has already abdicated his humanity to do the things that he does. And that's why he says in the voiceover leading over to the rendezvous, is he asked the question, how many men had I killed? He said those 6 that I knew for sure. And one was a couple so close that he could feel their breath in his face. Now, I mean, he's really describing to you how he killed them, because he didn't shoot these men. They were close. So that means he killed them personally, intimately, with a knife or something, choked them or whatever. But the point is that he had to have been disconnected from his own humanity, not for these, not for any of these murders, not to have any type of moral impact on him. So he's disconnected too. And this journey up the Nun River is not just to find Kurtz, but to reconnect with himself. So when he goes up the Nun River, first, before he goes up the Nun River, the film kind of sets the stage for this disconnection by showing this film crew out in the middle of a war zone, by showing Playboy bunnies out in the middle of a war zone, by showing this guy who named Kilgore, who is a surfing fanatic, and he's, out in the middle of a war zone. I mean, this is very, very out of place. But I think that I'm going to kind of digress a little bit on Kilgore. Now, I think the reason why Kilgore is a surfing enthusiast is that you look at America and you look at how, we enjoy the things that we enjoy here, our way of life. But at the same time, there are people who not we, but our military is killing and causing to suffer a great deal while we're over here. So I think that is what Kilgore is. Kilgore represents that detachment that, we can look at TV and we can see these things, but in our own little real world, hey, we have other things, better things to be worrying about, some people dying on TV. But anyway, getting off of that, and back on this, and Willard going up the Nun River. When Willard goes up the Nun River, the things that he sees not only disconnects him from his reality, not only disconnects him from his humanity, not only disconnects him from his God, but they also enable him to get to know Kurtz better. So this particular mission is going to be different than Willard's other missions in the respect that Willard's actually going to know the person that he's going to kill. And this is very important. This is why he must kill Kurtz in order to save his own soul. Because now he has to actually feel the person that he's killing. He actually has to empathize with this person. But as he goes up but when he arrives at this jungle in Cambodia, you notice what happens. What happens is that you see all of these natives look. All of them are looking. They got their bodies painted, and all of them are looking just like their God. Now, that's how we do. That's how, not we, but that's how the United States government does. When the United States government goes to invade a country, the first thing that we do is we start this propaganda war against not only those people, but their culture, their religion, and everything that we give them ours. So in other words, we give them, not we, but America gives them their God. And so that's basically why these people look white. And Kurtz is basically the incarnation, not of evil, but of just an animal. He's went back. He has devolved, so to speak, at this island. And, leading up to the mission itself in killing Kurtz, you notice that there's one scene where Willard rises up out of this swamp. And when he rises up, his face is painted to look like what? An animal. His face is painted to look like an animal. And once he becomes an animal or is baptized, so to speak, then that's when he kills Kurtz. Kurtz's execution is contrasted against a ritual sacrifice involving a water buffalo. And I believe that it's contrasted this way because it's trying to say that Kurtz is Willard's sacrifice to regain his humanity. And so by killing Kurtz, Willard is able to reconnect once again with his own humanity, which is why he goes back up the Nun River. and why his face, which is painted like an animal, is superimposed against the face of that God at the very beginning of the movie. And you also have to remember the conversation that he had at that French rubber plantation with Madame Surratt when she said that her husband asked her, am I an animal? Am I God? And she told him, you are both animal and God. Take that sentence and put it up against the last image of this film with Willard's face being superimposed over the face of this guy. Well, anyway, that's my little interpretation of Apocalypse Now. Like I say, a fantastic movie, one of the great movies ever. If you have any comment, if you have any suggestions, if you disagree, please leave a comment. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching this video.